your food for pickup or limited delivery. Call Shanghai at 221-0227 for the finest in Chinese cuisine. As a way of saying thank you to our KMJ listeners, we are offering a $50 certificate for $25. Just go to kmjnow.com and click on Sweet Deals.
I never knew my father, and my mom died when I was 10. I didn't have a steady home life, which led me to an abusive relationship. At age 17, I started my
Association gives hope to PH patients and caregivers. We want people to have a heart that is strong for a life reaching.
He made his peace already, but I kind of don't like his running style. I don't know if you agree with me. He's a little too straight up, and I don't know. I kind of like this for Sean a little bit better in that regard. So I think he's got a better future ahead of him. Sean does, and I don't think we've seen the best of him.
There's no doubt if he's posted.
Since Jesus committed no crime, there could be no crime posted over him. So Pilate decided what was going to go on the sign. Pilate, John 19:19. Pilate wrote an inscription, put it on the cross. This was Pilate's thing. And this is what it said. Jesus the Nazarene, or Jesus of Nazareth, the King of the Jews. If you combine Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, it actually says this is Jesus of Nazareth, the King of the Jews. It was all placarded there.
As you said, he has arrested 5 pro-Kurdish mayors, removing them from office. He said he pushed this kind of mega billion vanity project through with a tender earlier today. And he's basically using the opportunity that the Turkish public as well as the global public are busy with the coronavirus. So I wouldn't be surprised if we suddenly see yet a 4th Turkish cross-border operation implemented.
contend with from all directions because those flights were not cut off. I was there February 4th, and lots of people were coming in from Asia. So is Erdogan ignoring the threat to his population and to his economy?
You know, for Erdogan, people are dispensable. But economically, the bottom line matters. And
path forward, if you will, as baseball tries to figure out when it will return from the stoppage because of this coronavirus pandemic. Mark Teixeira was on Get Up on how MLB should resume.
I think we have to be very careful how much we mess with a game that is built for a reason. I mean, 9-inning games are very important to a roster construction. And frankly, teams that spend a lot of money and spend a lot of time building a great bullpen, which is what a lot of teams like the Yankees are doing nowadays, it's a huge disadvantage to teams with good bullpens. But I want to talk more about trying to squeeze as many games as you can into a shortened season. This is all about the money for the players and Major League Baseball.
Yo le llamo a fulano, a sutano, a fulano y yo los invito. Entonces a aquellos cuando saben que yo no tengo en los días que yo no compro y ellos logran comprar o obtener de la forma que sea.
To compensate, and from then on I would say that I would be diagnosable of more bulimia nervosa, which is, just to be really clear about bulimia nervosa, yes, it is self-induced vomiting is one thing, over-exercising, and the use of laxatives are others.
Gotcha. Now, what about anorexia? That's the other side where they don't eat.
The restrictive.
Las alternativas para
AM 1030, K2 Radio on Alexa and Radio Mobile. And welcome back with John Pope. John, give us an overview of the life of Nostradamus and how he was able to have these incredible prophetic things that he talked about in his quatrains.
Well, Nostradamus was born in 1503. His family lived in Provence. There was just a
whole agenda, and he has something he wants to do, and the question you need to be asking is, Jesus, what are you up to in my world? And speak, Lord, your servant here is the Lord. Now, you can want a lot of things, but the things that you have been predestined to accomplish are already in the mind of God.
basically against the IRS, and by the time everything was completed, I didn't know the IRS anymore.
Find out about the Fresh Start program that is now available through
Utah.
And yesterday, as you've heard reported time and again here on these airwaves, Summit County has put in place an order to stay at home. And in their order, they use that same language that violations of such orders could carry with it the charge of a misdemeanor offense. We asked the governor's office what he thought about that. And through a spokesman, it was made known to us that, well, because the circumstance in Summit County is so different, that county can count on the governor's support. All right? What that tells me is unless there is extreme need, the governor and those on his task force are of the mind that we ought to and that we are capable of adhering to the guidance and flattening the curve and obeying the suggestions and recommendations and guidance and advisories to maintain our distances, okay? The point of what I'm telling you is I have great faith in both freedom and Utah. I have great faith that we are wise enough and we are disciplined enough and we have the capacity to limit our movements and slow the spread of this thing. And I am, like the governor, very, very slow to look at police powers or enforcement by the authorities to compel Utahns to stay put. It's a scary, scary notion. It's a line that you can't uncross once it's been crossed. I don't think we are there yet, and I think the information presented to us by Dr. Angela Gunn in her press conference this morning supports that. And you know what? After that little rant there, I look up at the clock and I see that I have wasted all of our time. I had intended to talk to you about some of the bills signed by the governor after this past legislative session. Let me tell you one that caught my attention. It is the question of straight ticket voting. I don't have time to play any audio, but if you're a listener of this show, you know...
Ten misericordia de nosotros y del mundo entero. Ten misericordia de nosotros y del mundo entero.
Amén.
Amén. Bendiciones, Pedrito. Queremos mucho.
Gracias, yo también la quiero mucho, María. Cuídese mucho, María. Por favor. Padre eterno, te ofrezco el cuerpo y la sangre, el alma y la divinidad de tu amadísimo Hijo, nuestro Señor Jesucristo, como propiciación de nuestros pecados y los del mundo entero. María de la Luz, por su dolorosa pasión,
ten misericordia de nosotros.
Which is ultimately where I want to have an opportunity to play in the NFL.
On this week's Adam Schefter podcast, we sit down with Saints first.
A crime made by Mike Chernovich, who is a kind of a right-wing provocateur and journalist.
The things that stink and foul and are foul are not things to mix with, to be clean, to stay away from each other for a while. Let the winter come. And because these often happen in the summer, the bubonic plague was much worse. And so he ended up...
Father Rocky, and that begins at 8. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Pacific, right here on Relevant Radio. And, Father Ethan, I was just thinking, I want to get to a phone call here, but I was just thinking, we talk about dealing with what's going on. I'm just thinking of so many people who are lonely, and maybe you might have a word for them, but
I want my company name and or logo on a coffee mug.
Carshield.com.
Medical alert.
Opioid and other opioids have been shown to